And we are live. Welcome to the process. It is Wednesday, March 30th. I am Josh Engleman, and I am here to break down an 11-game NBA slate. This one's going to be a biggie. I assume it's going to be awful by the time we get to lock, just from a value news perspective. I have not looked at anything yet, that's for sure, but just assuming what the end of an NBA season normally looks like, this one's going to be not fun. But that doesn't mean we're not going to have fun while we prep it. So hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live, and then follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. Good to see everybody here this morning, even though the season is slowly but surely winding down. You guys are all here for me still, and that's what I love to see. Man, the Lakers are going to miss the playoffs legitimately, aren't they? Basketball Reference has the Lakers with a 25% chance to make the play-in and a 4% chance overall to actually qualify for the playoffs. Man, if they don't make the play-in, that's going to be wild. It's going to be really, really wild. It's incredible how bad they are. And let's not forget, if they miss the playoffs, when they miss the playoffs, the New Orleans Pelicans have their pick if it's in the top 4. They also have it if it's 8th, 9th, or 10th. The Grizzlies now would have gotten it if it finishes 11th, but starting to look more and more like the Pels have a really nice chance at adding 2 potential top 10 picks. Well, most likely we're talking like they pick 8th and 11th or 8th and 12th. But, if you're New Orleans, you're pretty happy about that. You're starting to see some of the fruits of the Anthony Davis trade. But we're not here to talk about the Lakers' odds of winning the lottery. We are here to talk about an 11-game slate. And the only way that we can do that is if we get started. And for us to get started, we got to worry about coffee. And I just realized that I didn't cool my coffee down at all. And it's going to be hot and I'm going to hate it. I'm going to be really not happy about it. So if it's as hot as I think it is, right after we start, I'm sneaking out of here, going down, tossing some ice in it, and making my life a little bit better. But for now, I'm going to say this. Rise and grind, everybody. Great to be here. Great to have everybody here. I see a ton of coffee cups in chat already. So whether you've got that coffee, tea, water, beer, food products. If you're not a liquids guy in the morning, you want to go hot dogs and chicken nuggets and pizza. Sometimes you just need scrambled eggs and bacon. Or you can hit a joint and then enjoy all that food because it'll be even better. Whatever you've got today, thank you for being here. Cheers to you guys. Clink. That's where it's at. Let's get it started. This could be way too hot. It's fine. It'll be all right. It'll cool off. I'll take the lid off for a bit. That should get me where I need to be. Alrighty, let's kick it off here. Game numero uno. Dallas Mavericks coming off of their absolute thumping yesterday of the LA Lakers. 4.5-point favorites in Cleveland, 213 total. This one's not going to be a very appealing game. Since Dallas played yesterday and I have no idea what they're doing, I am going to maintain the Mavs rotation from yesterday. I'm making no changes to everything that we had for yesterday. And to me, that seems super duper reasonable. So those minutes are all in, ready to go. They actually 9-man rotation. Let's do something like that. Perfect. And as we are only going to be going to Luka here. We're talking about a matchup of 2 really good defensive teams. And not only that, we've got Dallas, the slowest team in basketball, against Cleveland, the second slowest team in basketball. This is about as bad as it gets. Ooh, I am on full face screen. There we go. Hey, we're back, everybody. Thanks for the shout. S&P. Appreciate it. We're not making any changes to Dallas, as I mentioned, and we're probably only playing Luka because of the defense and the pace. Now, when we go to Cleveland, very, very different. Well, not very different, but certainly more guys that we can potentially play. We still have, we have no Evan Mobley now. We have no Jared Allen still, and Rondo is doubtful. This is going to be the Kevin Love show. Very intrigued by where this all ends up. So I assume that Kevin Love is the starting center for this team and going to play 32 minutes. Is Ed Davis just the backup center now? Do they go to Markkanen? Or they go to Moses Brown? They went to Moses Brown on Monday. The real question is, do we think that they only play two centers? Feels like a no. I'm going to say that they go to a little bit of Markkanen at the 5. At least they should. Then frees me up for at least a decent chunk of playing time. We saw Brandon Goodwin play again. We saw Chetty not play. So maybe we get Brandon Goodwin in there again for, I don't know, a decent chunk of minutes. I got to give Karis LeVert his 33. That'll bump Isaac Okoro up to his 33. Maybe Dylan Windler plays like 16. That's a 9-man rotation. I mean, how deep are they going to go? I mean, they probably should go deeper, considering it's probably safer to go deep on a team when you're already missing a bunch of guys. Like guy 9 through 9, 10, 11 is probably not all that different than 13, 14, 15. I'll just say it's Chetty. Now, I'm going to change rates, but I can't imagine the sample here is all that massive, but we're about to find out. All I want to do is yell out like Larry David does at that restaurant. Jared, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. All right, how many minutes has Cleveland played with Jared Allen off and Evan Mobley off, but Kevin Love on? Because that's the real key piece here. Kevin Love being on is what matters. And Kevin Love has played 332 minutes without those two guys on the floor. And he's got a 27% usage rate. So basically nothing changes. I'm going to leave everything else here. I guess Markkanen. Yeah, I'm going to leave everything else. That all makes sense. Or, I mean, we're going back to Karis LeVert for the people that went there recently, at least on FanDuel. So game number 1 in the books already. And I need to make one quick change. There we go. Yeah, Cleveland's defense will not be all that good when their two best defensive players aren't out there. It's going to be really good sledding for Luka Doncic. And like I said, for Luka, he's really the only guy that we're trying to play today. And especially on FanDuel, 10,400, even on the back-to-back. This is a great spot for him, other than the pace of the game. But he's going to look really good today. I probably won't play a single guy from Dallas otherwise. And then on Cleveland, Kevin Love, because of this role change, 5,300 on FanDuel. That's unquestioned great play today. 6,900 on DraftKings is still really good. But on FanDuel, he's on a different level. Same story for LeVert. 5,200 on FanDuel, 5,900 on DraftKings. Those are the two priorities. Garland and Markkanen are worth a little bit of a shot, but the LeVert price is what we're looking for. And as you can see, when we just combine all these guys together, Things looking good. Yeah, look, Love, Doncic, LeVert are going to be 3 high-end plays for today. Love in particular, the highest of the high. And then on DraftKings, it's all a little bit tighter, but still, same thing. We got more there than I was expecting. Let's go to game number 2 where, oh God, I don't know what we're going to get from the Indiana front court. Denver Nuggets, 10-point favorites at Indiana. For the Nuggets, we've got the Q tag on JaMychal Green. I think that's pretty easy to fix. If he doesn't play, Devon Reed probably does. Otherwise, everybody else is available. On the Pacers, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. They're not a fun team to talk about. Alrighty. Well, I'm going to say that Reed leaves the rotation, JaMychal Green steps back into it, and then I'm not making another change to the Denver rotation. Although, in theory, I could start paring down the Bryn Forbes minutes, which we will do. Yeah, Monty Morris for 29. Will Barton. I'm going to give Will Barton 32. Actually going to give Monty Morris 30. Now I think we look a little bit better. But then we go to Indiana. And this one's just I don't know what to do here. So Brissett is back. We got the Q tag on Goga, Isaiah Jackson, Dwayne Washington, and Malcolm Brogdon. At least we know Chris Duarte's out. But I think we just have to assume that everybody is back in for the Pacers. This is annoying. So we're saying everybody's available that has been available outside of Chris Duarte. And it's not like he's been around a lot. I think we have to assume that Brogdon can play. Although he shouldn't. Do I leave Brogdon out? Is that just the easier thing to do right now? It probably is, right? We'll give Goga 28 minutes. I don't know what to do with Isaiah Jackson. I mean, this is one of those times. This is a team legitimately where all the decisions that we make are very important to what this team looks like, and we have no idea what to do. Isaiah Jackson. Don't really know how to handle it. Ron, good morning. Kim, good morning. Deacon, good morning. I mean, why would they play Brogdon? All right, I'm going to assume Brogdon's not playing. I am going to put Isaiah Jackson on the floor, though. I'm going to say that he's the backup center. And then we get, I don't know, 20. We'll go 30 minutes to Brissett. I'm going to go 22 minutes to Jalen Smith. I'm going to leave Brogdon out. We're going to go 36 to Halliburton, 36 to Hield. I'm guessing we still get like a bunch of Justin Anderson. Maybe we go 28 minutes there. 16 to Lance. $12 to Dwayne The Rock Washington. Maybe more than that. Leaves me 6 minutes. I'm just going to say that Terry Taylor gets some spillover time. Although Terry Taylor has just been playing consistently, but this was Brissett out, Goga out, Jackson out. I don't think Taylor's going to be ahead of Jackson if he's back. So that's where those minutes will come from. Rates can all stay the same, so I guess we're going to be having some interest in Halliburton and Hield, but nothing too crazy. Game number 2 in the books. For the Nuggets, surprise, surprise, it's Nikola Jokic and nobody else. And even then, we're going to prefer Luka to Jokic. So I don't, other than the fact that, like, obviously Jokic should smash Indiana on paper, I don't have a ton of interest in Jokic over Luka, and I have a sneaky suspicion Jokic will tumble a bit, even though I got him at 1.75 fantasy points per minute. And then we go to Indy. Now, they actually matter. Halliburton on FanDuel is $7,600, $2,100 cheaper than he is on DraftKings. That is a broken price tag. Please make sure you're playing a lot of Tyrese Halliburton on FanDuel. Also, play Buddy Hield and Goga to a lesser extent. Hield $6,300. That is $1,000 cheaper. Goga $5,600, slightly cheaper. But as we add game number 2, you can see got a lot of talent here at the top of FanDuel today. DraftKings a little bit different. Buddy Hield steps into the 4 spot on DK, but it's not like he's going to rank very highly by the end. Halliburton into the 4 spot, but he is behind LeVert, Doncic, and Kevin Love. So keep your eyes peeled on that one as we continue to expand. All right, next up, game 3. Orlando Magic 3-point dogs in Washington. Oh, this should be just a real dream matchup. Washington's going to be the same as yesterday, barring any injuries, because they're on the back-to-back. Orlando, not on the back-to-back. They did play 4, 7, 8, 9, 10. So they went to an 11-man rotation. I assume that was an ass beating. I just can't remember anything Orlando does. No, that was competitive. Competitive matchup. Why did Orlando not bring back any starters in a game that was tied? They just opted out of that. They played 11 guys and then chose to not bring in a single starter in the 4th quarter at all. That's just, they're full on tanking. They let Iggy Brazdeikis, Mo Wagner, Chuma Okeke, Jeff Doughton, and Admiral Schofield / Fultz play. How do you project that? I mean, what am I supposed to do there? Do I assume that they're going to do that all the time? I mean, like right here, this, like, when they would normally come back in is right here on this notch. This is like a 2-point game either direction. And it's not like it wasn't, like, the starters played really well in the 3rd quarter. That's interesting. Orlando is 2.5 games ahead of OKC. It doesn't matter if they finish 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. It's the same odds. So, congrats on the tank, Orlando, I guess. Anyway, for Orlando, we have no Wendell Carter Jr. and no Jalen Suggs. So, you got to assume that they're going to do, like, a little bit more than they did. But maybe they're not. So, I'm going to take Cole Anthony down to 28. I'm going to give Fultz 20. I'm going to cut this entire rotation, actually. I'm not giving anybody more than 28 minutes if they're willing to just not play the 4th quarter. So that's 28 minutes to Cole Anthony, 20 minutes to Markelle Fultz. I'm going to go 28 minutes to Franz Wagner. I'm going to go 26 minutes to Chuma Okeke. We're going to see where we end up after we take out Wendell Carter. Maybe we bump up guys a little bit, but I just want to give a baseline. Mo Bamba seems pretty safe for like 24 minutes. I'm going to say that Mo Wagner basically plays the other 24 minutes. And then we go to Iggy Brazdeikis playing 20. I'm going to say that Admiral Schofield plays 20. That'll let me bump up Franz Wagner a little bit. RJ Hampton 26. That leaves me 24. Jeff Doughton can play 20. That still leaves me just 4 minutes left over. I don't even think that's all that crazy. Maybe I'll take Okiki back up to 28. And I'll take Hampton to 28. Now, we'll take Hampton. It's not going to matter. We're not going to be playing these guys. There we go. We'll give them the Schofield. I mean, good luck today if you want to play Orlando. I'm not digging into anything here. They look terrible, and they're untrustworthy. As we go to the Wizards, assuming Kuzma doesn't play, and I'm pretty sure I saw that he's already out. He's the only guy that matters. Oh, yeah, he's out for 4 games. We just have to assume that this is normal Wizards rotation, so I'm fine with what I've got in here. So, for Orlando, all you get is reds. They're going to fall clean out of anybody of interest. On Washington, you get a slight bit of interest into $8,900 Porzingis. But this game is mostly a cross-off. So let's try this. Okay. So I want to do... How far down did these formulas go? Oh, I went to 30. Awesome. That's perfect. Just to make this a little bit easier, we're going to add something quickly to the table. If A3 equals X, then 1. Oh, not if A3 equals X. If... Oh, man, now I don't know what I want to do here. Ooh, okay. Might just have to be a hidden column. There we go. Game number. There we go. There we go. This is what we're looking for. I'm going to make it a little bit easier to see the teams that we're trying to talk about. Like the new team that we add, I'm going to highlight those things. Yeah, this is perfect. All right, so we'll look up Kevin Love's name in the name section. Now we'll be able to see quickly the most recent team added. You guys will get what I'm doing here in a second. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. What's that going to be? D3. Oh yeah, now we're dancing. Now we're dancing. Let's just make sure I got that correct. A3 equals D3. No, if A1 equals D3 and now we got it. See, sometimes this stuff is tricky, but sometimes you just need to pay attention. Now we can quickly see who in the most recent game is on the list and where they rank. Now that yellow is a little harsh. Let's soften that yellow just a little bit. But now, it's just going to be a little bit easier for everybody to see the most recent guys we talked about. All right, somehow I made that yellow brighter, but that's fine. Perfect. Perfect. Oh, this is good. This is good. I want to make sure we've got the good stuff here, guys. I want to make sure that you guys can see the best things that we have quickly. Doesn't really get us anywhere if we're just like not quickly looking at all the stuff that we should be looking at. So there we go. If we look at game number 3, this is where all of the Washington and Orlando people rank. So honestly, on Washington, it's not too bad on DraftKings for Porzingis and Kispert and Satoransky. That's a good point, Ron. I should do that. That's an easy fix. There we go. Good call, Ron. Good call. Much smarter than me. Much smarter than me. Yeah, it's that one. Boom. Done. Yeah, that looks better too. But as you can see, like Porzingis, Kispert, Satoransky, that's not bad. I mean, they're going to end up in like the 10 to 15 range, maybe even further down by the time we get there. But you can see nobody's just jamming themselves into that upper echelon. And that's really all that matters. So we go to game number 4. I don't know who that is. Game number 4 is Miami and Boston. So I can't imagine that we're going to get a lot of highly ranked stuff here. That's for sure. Not quite a fantasy boon game. We shall see. We'll start with Miami. Don't know who's available. This is a team that's had a million Q tags as of late. They do again today. Duncan Robinson, Caleb Martin, Gabe Vincent. Now, they are making rotational changes, so that we might have to pay attention to that. Max Strus sort of taken over for Duncan Robinson. Oladipo's done. That's going to become Gabe Vincent moving forward. I don't want to change anything for Hero, for Lowry, for Butler, for Bam, for PJ Tucker. Markieff Morris also out of the rotation now. That will get me to 9, and that will get me Max Strus to 28. I'm to 27. And then we'll do that. 17 for Gabe Vincent, 23 for Duncan. That is Miami. No rate changes to make. Butler and Bam on FanDuel is basically it. Now on Boston, kind of back, but kind of not back. Like, obviously, we're getting the main stars back, but we know Robert Williams is going to be out for a while, which sucks. But at the very least, now we get center Al Horford for 32 minutes. I think Daniel Tice is just the straight backup there. We get Grant Williams in for 30. We're certainly getting Jason Tatum in for 36. We're certainly getting Jaylen Brown in for 35. We're getting Marcus Smart in for 32 for me. Peyton Pritchard as the backup. Derek White, I'm guessing goes... I'm guessing he plays about 28 minutes. And then who are we missing? Because I have 20... Oh, well, for some reason I only gave Tatum... I gave Tatum way less. I still have 15 minutes left over. Is that Neesmith? They're going to go to more than 8, right? Where do I want to go with these minutes? And I guess they could potentially play Tice and Horford alongside each other. So, Cheetah, no, you don't play Tice no matter what today. Fully unplayable. Let's give those minutes to Neesmith. Did I cut rates? I did. Ugh. All right, that's annoying. Let's grab Boston rates. I know it'll be quick, but we'll do Time Lord off. And then we'll do games where Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart, and Al Horford all played. All right, how many people are in here? What do we got? 107 viewers, just 46 likes, guys. That's not the that's not the ratio that we're looking for. So, if you haven't done so yet, please, please, please hit that like button. You guys know, helps me out a ton. As we grab the Boston rates. And I don't expect to like a lot in this game either way, but we still need to make sure we're correct. No strategy show, no lie before lock for me today, so keep your eyes peeled for contenders, and that is it. All right, rates are in for Boston. All right. Jason Tatum, 31.3% usage rate. Does get a bit of an assist bump. Don't know why. Jaylen Brown, 29% usage rate. Does not get an assist bump. Everything else, just a rebounding knock, actually. Horford is in at 15.8. Does a little bit less with the ball. Certainly rebounds more, though. Grant Williams really doesn't do anything different. Marcus Smart, he's a guy I literally never get to. And today will not be any different. And then Derek White, 20% usage rate. Ultimately, there are no priorities for Boston, and I'm not sure there were any priorities for Miami. But this will be a great way to show the new feature. So on Miami, maybe a little bit of Bam on FanDuel. Power forward center, 8K. 8,400 on DraftKings, too. That's fine. Jimmy Butler on FanDuel, 7,900. Again, fine. It's just bad matchup. Very bad matchup. On the Boston side, same situation. Like, does Horford look all right? Yeah, 6,100 on FanDuel, 5,900 on DraftKings. No priorities. You know, both teams really good defensively. Miami, third slowest team in basketball. Boston is 24th overall, so also very slow. Just not interesting. So, if we add game number 4, and I check the box, for some reason that's showing... Ooh, the formula changed, didn't it? This happens sometimes. No. I made wait, $A, $1 equals $D3. Why is that wrong? That's why it's wrong. Got to change that to a 3. Apply. Good. Nope. Now I legitimately don't know why that's wrong. Why is that highlighting the 2s and the 3s? It's right on DraftKings. It's wrong on FanDuel. Oh, no. Okay, so that's wrong now. That should be D3. There we go. Got it. Now we're set up correctly. Yeah. Bam on FanDuel gets to 6th. Butler gets to 9th, which means those guys are going to get pushed down out of the top 10. Horford, the only guy that's going to have any sort of shot on the DK side. It's just not a good game. It's just not a good game. All right, on to game number 5. Game number 5 is going to be the Charlotte Hornets at the New York Knicks. Hornets are 2-point favorites in New York. Yikes, Knicks. Well, Luckily, it's the Hornets, and we know exactly what they're going to be doing to a degree. Terry Rozier, I'm going to pop in. I got him in for 35 minutes. That seems fine. Although, starting to get a little bit more Kelly Oubre again. Take Rozier down to 34. We bump up Oubre. We've got LaMelo at 34. That is what he's been playing. I'm in for that. Got Cody Martin in for 24. Got Isaiah Thomas in for 13. Got Jalen McDaniels in for 13. All that seems fine. 25 for Plumlee. Might honestly be a little too high. 17 for Trez is probably too high. None of that really matters, though. 34 for Bridges. 30 for PJ Washington. We've got our Charlotte rotation. And then we move it on over to the New York Knicks. And for the Knicks, I didn't even look to see if Charlotte had anybody out. They don't. For the Knicks, just no Grimes, which is an easy fix. And no Grimes last game, I believe. Correct. So 32 minutes for Alec Burks works for me. 33 minutes for Julius Randle is sort of what he's been playing, but I'm clearly not going 33 minutes. So 35 and 13 split for him and Toppin. We know that. Mitchell Robinson, 28-20 split with Jericho Sims. No, but some sort of split. So that leaves me at Fournier. Should be maybe 29 minutes. Emmanuel Quickly, 26 looks fine. I kind of just have to give Miles McBride 18 minutes. Who the hell else am I going to give him to? He's not going to get any runs, so that's fine. So we've got the Knicks. No changes. I guess I can give Barrett another minute. Take him up to 39. Now, remember, this is a great matchup. It's a great matchup for Boston. Sorry, for New York against Charlotte. All right, so for the Hornets, Rozier on FanDuel at 6,700. I know I recommend him a lot, but again, he's just a little bit underpriced. Washington, Plumlee, Bridges, Ball. There are guys you could take runs here, but they are last guys in, not guys you pay attention to. On the Knicks, RJ Barrett on DraftKings at 8,100 or RJ Barrett on FanDuel at 7,700 will be like a borderline top 10 guy today. Randall on FanDuel and Fournier on FanDuel and DraftKings, and Mitchell Robinson on FanDuel all look okay. Just don't know how much we're going to prioritize any of these guys. So as we add in game number 5, we have, look at that pack there. Nobody crested the top 5 on FanDuel, but we have a new number 6, 7, 8, and 9. Barrett, Randall, Rozier, and Fournier. Mitchell Robinson up there too. So these guys are going to knock on the door of the top 10 as we continue to work through. On DraftKings, though, RJ Barrett steps into the number 3 spot. Fournier actually steps into the number 4 spot. Fournier down to 4,700. Shooting guard, small forward. It's not fun, but it works out when you get to take on the Charlotte Hornets. All right, we got 113 viewers, 61 likes. Now we're starting to climb. Oh no, this one's awful. The Sacramento Kings are 2-point favorites in Houston. Houston has announced that Wood and Schroeder and Gordon are all out for the year. So at least that information is already out, but woof. Sacramento. Q tag on Lamb, on Len, and on Josh Jackson. So I'm assuming Len is going to play, but Keita would play if he didn't. So I think that we can safely go to Damian Jones for maybe 27. Go 20 to Len if he can play. So I think that's what they want to do. Maybe I go 18 to Len. You get a couple more minutes for Chimeti Metu. 36 for Davion Mitchell. Ooh, boy. Maybe that should be 38. Got 30 for DiVincenzo. That feels fine. 26 for Justin Holiday. Feels about right. 17 for Jeremy Lamb. Doesn't have to happen. We can go down to 15 there. I think the rest of this seems okay. Harry Barnes, 34. Yeah. 9-man rotation. I mean, Trey Lyles in for 30. That's what he's playing. Trey Lyles, Davion Mitchell, and Harrison Barnes are going to look pretty good here. I mean, that's what happens when you face Houston. They're like the worst defense and one of the fastest teams. Now we go to Houston, and I'm guessing this Houston rotation is actually the same thing we saw on Monday. No Wood, no Gordon, no Schroeder. Did we get any news on anybody else? Houston might actually be a little bit easier to project than they normally are. So Q-tag on Şengün is the only additional problem here. Wow, they didn't play Bruno Fernando last time out. They went to Garuba and who played backup center on Monday? Where's Houston at? Because that game was competitive. So, like, whoever did really did. All right, so when Şengün came out, Garuba checked in for him. When Şengün checked out at the end of that fourth quarter, they went to Garuba for the first half of it. Martin, Christopher, Green, Porter, Tate. So Martin, technically, I guess. Okay. Well, we're certainly going to give Usman Garuba minutes. So we'll give him his 14 again. Kevin Porter Jr. played bigger minutes. I'm going to assume that that is a goal of theirs, so I'm going to give him 2 more. We'll take Porter up to 32. I'm going to take Jalen Green up to 33. Josh Christopher is probably the guy that needs a little bit more playing time. 28 for Martin. Take him down to 26. We're going to take him to 27. We're going to take Tate to 27. We're going to take Josh Christopher to 26. And then, wow, Nwaba didn't play either. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a 9-man rotation. Who needs these minutes? I mean, I guess Kevin Porter Jr. They didn't go to OT, right? Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green played way more than I'm projecting, and I don't think that that's a long-term decision. So there's 12 more minutes there. So that's Houston. I don't have rates to change. Well, this game's just going to be a dumpster fire. So on Sacramento, Trey Lyles, Davion Mitchell, Harrison Barnes, all 3 really good FanDuel scores for their salary. Mitchell's $600 cheaper on FanDuel. Barnes is $400 cheaper. Lyles is $400 cheaper. All 3 of those guys look good on DraftKings. They just look slightly better on FanDuel. On the Houston side, Jae'Sean Tate on FanDuel is $4,100. I think he's just going to be playing slightly more minutes now. I love that price tag for him. Şengün on FanDuel is $5,800. That's $1,100 cheaper than he is on DraftKings. I think that's appealing. And then you get this pack of DK guys, Martin, Tate, Christopher Porter, all certainly viable today. So as we add in game number 6, as we add in game number 5. Oh. Wait, did I? How the hell did that happen? So I skipped the Minnesota-Toronto game in my list. So we'll look at that list again once we finish Minnesota-Toronto. I accidentally deleted Minnesota-Toronto too, and that's just going to show the list incorrectly. But, Lyles, Mitchell, Tate, Şengün, Barnes to a degree. All these guys looking solid. We're casting a very wide net on Sacramento and Houston. But let's go back to the Minnesota-Toronto game where I assume Toronto is going to look really good. We'll start on Minnesota. No Beasley. Nothing else matters. So standard Minnesota rates. Same as what we had in here previously. They went to a 9-man rotation. I have a 10-man rotation in, which means that I should take Josh Okogie's 6 minutes out and figure out where I need to give them, but that should be fine. Bev at 30, Edwards at 35, Russell at 32. Vanderbilt's minutes are way too high. Jalen Noel, all fine. Taurean Prince, I guess, is fine at 23. We'll do something like that for Minnesota. But Toronto is going to be the key piece. I mean, we get Fred VanVleet basically every day, and now he gets to face Minnesota. So no Malachi Flynn. Kem Birch is questionable, but they're back to normal now. This Toronto rotation that played on Monday is back to just core dudes, 8-man, not messing around type stuff. So we've got those 8 guys in right now. We're going to say that Fred VanVleet plays 36 minutes. I'm at least going to 37. And that'll allow me to go 11 more here. We're going to say that Gary Trent plays 35 minutes, or 36 minutes rather. That's what he played straight away on his return. Now they went to OT, so let me back that down a little bit. Let's assume Trent is going to play 33 minutes. So we're going to go 36 VanVleet. 33 minutes to Trent. Anunoby in for 34. Scotty Barnes in for 34. Siakam in for 38. Then Thad Young played big minutes. Kem Birch didn't play, and I think he might not play moving forward. We'll see. But even if he does, we're going to go 14 here. I'm going to go minimal minutes to Kem Birch. Boucher is sort of done now. Precious is sort of still the same. We're going to take Precious to 26. Kem Birch to 9, and that will be our Toronto rotation. And as I expected, there's a lot to like here. So for Minnesota, I really like Edwards on both sites. I like Russell on FanDuel. Edwards is 6,700 on FanDuel, 7,300 on DraftKings. Russell is 5,500 on FanDuel. That doesn't make a ton of sense to me, so please get that price tag. Beverly on FanDuel is all right too. But then when we go to Minnesota, or when we go to Toronto, VanVleet, exceptional option on FanDuel. Siakam and Anunoby, exceptional on DraftKings. Siakam and Van Vliet. Sorry, Siakam, Anunoby, Trent on FanDuel, Van Vliet on DraftKings. These guys just look good. So if we look back here, Van Vliet, if this was game number 6, Van Vliet jumps right into the 3rd spot, Edwards into 4. Siakam actually passes Kevin Love on DraftKings. Edwards and Anunoby get to 3 and 4. But now I could add in that 7th game too with Sacramento and Houston. And we can get a real good look here. So at the top, it's still Kevin Love on FanDuel. Luka and Van Vliet are tied at the 14 spot. Edwards now in there with Karis LeVert. We get a twofer with Halliburton and Russell as well. We get guys like Jayshawn Tate, who just seem very, very likely to go for 30 fantasy points. That all looks good. But now you can see 3 of the top 4 spots on DraftKings are now Siakam, Edwards, and Anunoby. DraftKings with a very different outlook now. 4 games left to go. Got to assume Atlanta gets something they like here. Atlanta are 12.5-point favorites in OKC. 229 total. I don't know the status on Gallo or Hunter right now, so we're about to find that out. No one knows the status on those guys. They're both questionable. That is incredibly annoying, but also means we're just going to pop him back in for 30. We're going to pop DeAndre Hunter in for 32, and we will find those minutes somewhere. TLC, you go bye-bye. Kevin Knox, you go bye-bye. 36 for Trey. 18. No, we're just back in it here. Do something like that. Rates are good. No changes here. Not as much to like for Atlanta as you would normally expect. On the OKC side, oh boy. It's just a dreadful experience. Q-tag on Trey Mann. Baisley's done. Giddey done. Jerome done. Shea done. Dort done. Williams done. Muscala done. Favors done. So assuming Trey Mann is back, they have 9 active bodies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so we're going to 9 guys for OKC instead of the 8 that they played recently. We're going to take JRE down to 16. We got 34 minutes out of SAR. Holy shit. Okay. So we're going to take Maladon down to 32. We're going to take Vic Krejci down to 26. We're going to take Lindy Waters down to 20. I think Aaron Wiggins is going to come down to 32. I think Poku is going to come down to 32. I think Roby's in for 30, and that's fine. That allows me to go to 30 on Trey Mann. Feels like he should get slightly more because he actually does play more than these guys, but I don't know where to take them from. Maybe, we'll go 31 to Wiggins, 31 to Poku, 31 to Maladon. We'll take Trey Mann up to 31, and then we'll bump Waters up to 22. Oh, boy. News got in the house. What's good? Let's look at OKC Atlanta. Game number 8. So for Atlanta, maybe Capella, maybe Trey on FanDuel. This is just not great. Really hard to prioritize guys against Atlanta. I mean, Capella could smash this front court. Trae Young could carve them up. I don't love a lot here. For OKC, though, similar story. Roby is 7K on FanDuel, 6,200 on DraftKings. If you pick a random Thunder guy, I think that's fine. I don't know how to prioritize any of them. Here's where it starts to get squirrely. As we add in guy number 8, highest ranked guy on FanDuel on either Oklahoma City or Atlanta. It's Capella and Trae Young at 15 and 16. No sign of anyone from OKC. Roby gets to 14th on DraftKings. Nobody behind. This game's awful. Awful. So 3 games to go. The Memphis Grizzlies are 6-point favorites in San Antonio, 233 total. Decent chance something looks good here for Memphis. Now, I don't think that we have Ja Morant back, so this should be pretty easy. Jaren Jackson's questionable. We're going to have to pop him back in. Still no Morant. Aldama with the G League team. So the minutes for Adams and Clark are fine. The minutes for Zaire Williams are fine. We're going to take Slow-Mo back down to 20. Aldama's minutes go away. That actually takes me to 26 on Jaren Jackson, which is basically what this dude plays. We'll take him to 27. Take Zaire Williams to 19. Everything else looks fine. Not going to be any real priorities here for Memphis. And I really expected to see priorities here for Memphis, but the prices have come up. On San Antonio, we have Lonnie Walker probable, Romeo Langford still out. So we just need to get Lonnie Walker into this game. So that probably means Joe Wieskamp goes away. Keita Bates-Diop goes away. Josh Richardson's minutes come down to 24. Josh Primo's minutes come down to 24. That leaves me 25 minutes for Lonnie Walker. Done. Easy stuff. Easy stuff. I guess I could take some minutes away from Trey Jones as well. Make him a backup and give some to Jock Landale. None of it matters. We're playing Murray at best. Easy game to work our way through. Another one that I expected bigger here. Memphis is just like passable. If you want to go to $6,400 Jaren Jackson on FanDuel, like that's where you get your ceiling from. But I don't have a real priority here. Ooh, do those rates need to change? No, they don't. Yeah, they do. Do something like that. There are just no priorities for Memphis. And then, obviously, the priority for San Antonio is DeJounte Murray because he's really, really good. But, like, just look how unappealing this is. I had game number 9. Murray gets to the number 8 spot overall. No one else in the top 30. And then on DraftKings, Murray jumps to 2. But honestly, there's not really a difference between Siakam, Murray, Love, Edwards, Anunoby, and LeVert. And honestly, you can probably lump in Barrett, Martin, Van Vliet, Tate, Lyles, and Barnes. That's 12 guys that are basically exactly the same on DK today. There's a little bit more delineation on FanDuel. All right, 2 games to go. We've got 150 viewers, 89 likes, so we should soar above that 100 mark. Hit that like button now for the Phoenix Suns, 6-point favorites in Golden State. 224 total. And for Phoenix, we got the doubtful tag on Cam Johnson. No JaVale. Otherwise, we're good. We got Biyombo straight up backing up DeAndre Ayton last time out. That works for me. Can't imagine we're changing too much here. Chris Paul, I guess, is going to play a little bit more. Cam Payne, I guess, is going to play a little bit less. And take Chris Paul up to 33. Yeah, that makes it a little bit more reasonable. Otherwise, I don't have any other minutes that I need to change here. Although, if I take Campaign down to 19, I could bump up Biyombo to where I actually want him. Now we're talking. All right, so that's Charlotte. So that's Phoenix. Now we look at Golden State. Now they get all their dudes back, so I'm going to delete that entire rotation from the last time out. Golden State's just got the biggest disparity between everyone played. Oh, no one played. Yeah, Clay back, Draymond back, no Steph, Porter back, Quindary Witherspoon back. So, we'll start with Jordan Poole, 36 minutes. Boom. We'll go to Klay Thompson next, 35 minutes. Boom. We go to Andrew Wiggins, 33 minutes. Easy. We go to Draymond Green, 26, 28? 28 feels about right. We go to Looney, who's been playing all over the map as of late. I think 24 feels most correct for Looney. Bielitsa, when they were at full strength, was out of the rotation. I'm going to assume that is the case again today. We'll say Draymond is the backup 5. We're going to get Kuminga in for not a lot. I'm going to say 18 to start. Iggy played 16 on Monday. I'm going to assume that he does that again. Gary Payton, Damian Lee, Otto Porter. Those are the final 3 guys that we need to get to. Actually, it shouldn't even be 3. Well, no, it should because of Iguodala being back. Man, it's possible they go to a 9-man rotation. It's possible that they just cut Damian Lee for Andre Iguodala as well. All right, so Otto Porter, probably 24 minutes. Gary Payton, probably for 24 minutes. That would take me to a 9-man rotation and not give me Damian Lee. That's the tricky spot. Do I split those guys 13-13? That's what I'm going to do. 10-man rotation for Golden State. Rates all stay the same? No, I don't think they do. I think Poole has to come down. All right, Golden State rates. Steph Curry off. Games were Clay, Wiggins, Jordan Poole, all start. How big is that sample? Honestly, that's big enough for me. Klay Thompson, 27% usage rate. Jordan Poole, 28% usage rate. Andrew Wiggins, 22% usage rate. I'm just going to leave Draymond and assume that everything here is just fine. So that's Golden State. Second to last game is done. As we look at Phoenix, this is one of the 2 10 o'clock games. Not a single priority from the Phoenix Suns tonight. These guys are going to rank very low. On Golden State, Draymond Green on FanDuel is 4,900. If you think he's playing 28 minutes today, I think it looks fantastic. Jordan Poole on DraftKings at 8,200 looks good, as does Jordan Poole on FanDuel. As we add in game number 10, you'll see where this lines up. Draymond gets to 15th overall on FanDuel. Poole is 23rd. Poole gets to 8th on DraftKings. No one else in the top 30. This might as well be a game that doesn't exist. Unfortunately, the other 10 o'clock game is a game that does exist. The New Orleans Pelicans are taking on the Portland Trail Blazers. The Blazers are 13.5-point dogs at home with a 228 total. What a late night hammer, folks. On the Pels side, Q tag on Joval. Alvarado signed a new contract. Not that it matters. Larry Nance is probable. So let's hash out this New Orleans team first. We got Brandon Ingram back on Sunday. He's gotten a couple more days off. I got him in for 30 minutes. Seems fine. McCollum in for 35. Seems fine. Devontae Graham played a bit less than I was expecting. Willie Hernangomez, however, was out of the rotation, and Larry Nance didn't play. So I definitely think Willie Hernangomez isn't playing here. I do think that Larry Nance is going to play those 16 minutes. And then I think everything else is fine. Jackson Hayes played 17 minutes. Now that's where it starts to get scary. So who... Did that go to OT? Who played backup center? This was Sunday, so that would be right here. Who played backup center? All right, Joval played here. Willie Hernangomez checked in. Okay, so he didn't. That wasn't even blowout run. They just didn't put him back out there. So then Joval, they went Alvarado, Trey Murphy, Graham, Najee Marshall, Jackson Hayes. Okay, so it's Jackson Hayes here. Joval comes off. It's Jackson Hayes here. Okay, so it was Jackson Hayes as the backup center. And they did not play alongside each other a lot. Interesting to note. So I'm going to do 24 minutes for Jackson Hayes, 18 minutes for Larry Nance. We're going to get Trey Murphy up to 19 minutes. Not that it matters. Then we don't have to make any other further changes. And I mean, there's not much to like here for the Pels. It's basically a little bit of McCollum and maybe a little bit of Joval and nothing else. Portland, on the other hand, I'm sure is a pain in the ass. The only thing that's going to be good about Portland is if no one's back. And we can just do this easily. No Winslow, no Watford. Greg Brown is probable. Didi Luzada also available to play now. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So they have 11 dudes. They have 11 dudes, even though they played 8 the last time out. Riddle me this. All right, so let's think this through. Chris Dunn, it appears, is just going to play a lot less. So we're going to take him down to 22 minutes. I think Drew Eubanks being in for 33 makes a lot of sense. I think that 30 minutes out of Keon Johnson makes a lot of sense. I don't think Blevins is going to be playing a ton. We're going to take him down to 14. I think Elijah Hughes looked a little bit more reasonable at 20. I think CJ Ellaby could work his way back down to 30. Brandon Williams minutes, I think, just have to make sense like that at 34. Make it 33 so it's not as sharp. Macklemore can come down in minutes. We'll go 26. And now we've got 32 minutes to give to Greg Brown and Didi Luzada. And I'm going to go 22 to Greg Brown and 10 to Luzada. And that'll be it, folks. That's the end of this final game. We're through 11 games in an hour and 10 minutes. That's pretty fun. As we look at New Orleans, I don't really see a giant priority here for the Pels. CJ is your best option. He will not rank highly. And then on the Portland side, I don't see a lot of priorities here, but Keon Johnson and CJ Ellaby on FanDuel, Brandon Williams on DraftKings are worth a bit of a look. But as you can see, as we add the final game in, Keon Johnson on FanDuel ranks 19th. No one else is in the top 30. Brandon Williams ranks 15th on DraftKings. No one else in this game is in the top 30. There's just not a lot of priorities here for the New Orleans Pelicans and Portland Trailblazers game. Let's see how different these things look when we run crunches, which means if you haven't hit the like button yet, folks, do so now. We are rounding out this show. We've got 148 concurrent viewers and 103 likes, so I appreciate everybody that's here. I didn't even retweet my tweet. We'll do that now. Maybe we'll get a late influx. Okie doke. Let's close this one out. First things first. God damn it. Dave, I gotta talk to you. Your quick views aren't saving. It's driving me nuts. Set as default. I don't know what I gotta do to make that be a real thing. All right, FanDuel Crunch is up first, as you're aware. FanDuel Power Rankings. Wednesday, March 30th. Who is it gonna be? All right, stabilizing a bit, but we're going right back to Luka Doncic as your number one play. Fred VanVleet and Anthony Edwards appear to be 2-3. Then Trae Young is also in that little group of 2-3. D'Angelo Russell, Kevin Love, DeJounte Murray, Karis LeVert, Jason Tatum, Nikola Jokic, Tyrese Halliburton. That's everybody above 15%. Now we switch to Optimal on FanDuel. 351.1. Luka, VanVleet, CJ, D'Angelo Russell, Karis LeVert, Jayshawn Tate, Bam Adebayo, Alperen Şengün, and Kevin Love. Nothing looking crazy there. One pay-up option for Luka, but we don't even really need to... It's a pretty balanced lineup, even with a pay-up. Now we go to DraftKings. What do we got here for DK? The wrong view, I'm sure. Well, I did not click on that upload button yet, but it took me straight to it, which is always exciting. Now we go to DraftKings. DK Power Rankings. Nope. No randomness turned on automatically, which means DK Optimal. 286.1. Murray, Anunoby, Josh Christopher, Kevin Love, Porzingis, Dante DiVincenzo, KJ Martin, and Jayshawn Tate. Now, let's look at the power rankings for DK. Cheetah, think this one out yourself. Who do you think is out that Kevin Love gets an automatic bump? What's your guess? Well, DraftKings looks like a disaster. There's a lot of Josh Christopher, OG Anunoby, KJ Martin, Isaiah Roby, Kevin Love sneaking into the top 5. Fournier, Horford. I mean, look how flat DraftKings is. And we saw that bear out when we looked here. I mean, there's not a lot of difference. If the top 28 guys in plus minus or boom, whatever we want to look at, are all separated by like 3 fantasy points relative to salary. If I move a minute around here, these guys, I can scramble these guys. So it helps to see a crunch come out where everything is super flat. It's hard to prioritize things on DraftKings at this particular moment. Now let's close it out with Yahoo, which I'm sure looks a little bit better, or easier at least. All right. Quick view, NBA. No. Set as default. Alrighty, final crunch. Yahoo Optimal or Yahoo Power Rankings, depending on which one we get first. And the answer is we get Power Rankings first on Yahoo. Rewind, Ken. We looked at it. Well, Kevin Love is going to be your number one guy on Yahoo. Doesn't seem like it's going to be close. He's $16. That should not be all that surprising to you guys. So Kevin Love is your priority play on Yahoo. Only other guys above 15% are Brandon Williams, Fred VanVleet, Trey Lyles, Anthony Edwards, and that is it. Everything else is very, very flat on Yahoo, outside of the fact that Kevin Love is unquestionably your number one option. And then we look at the optimal lineup on Yahoo before we close this one out. Again, thank you guys for being here. Make sure you're hitting that like button before we get out of here. VanVleet, DiVincenzo, Davion Mitchell, Anthony Edwards, Kevin Love, Trey Lyles, Nikola Jokic, and Alperen Şengün rounds out the optimal on Yahoo. Gotta love it, everybody. Another one in the books. 2 more to go this week before we close it out. How many games do we have these next 2 days? Tomorrow's slate contains 5 games. Easy. Friday, 10-gamer. Easy. That'll do it, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Hit that like button one last time. Peep the banner, awesemo.com/prizepicks-promo. That is the presenting sponsor here. Make sure you're going to that link. Click it in the description and get yourself a free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum. Best of luck, everybody. Enjoy yourselves. This was The Process.